Welcome to Monologues by Hassie, where I'm going to be dropping unsolicited brain dumps from the depths of my grey matter. I'll talk about life, money, society, and self-development, plus whatever else lies up there, whilst hopefully not getting cancelled in the process. A significant portion of my network has approached 30 years old or is rapidly approaching 30 years old. And one of the biggest things that I hear when I speak to people and they're reflecting on their own experiences over the past decade or so is that there is one very common regret that seems to be appearing, especially amongst the people that I hang out with. And that historically has been people who went to selective schools, who prioritized all these status-oriented things like performing extremely well in academia, getting a high status, high paying career, getting on these financial milestones like shares and getting into the property market, and all these kind of worldly metrics of success. There is a very common regret that screams out amongst all of this, and it's that a lot of people regret not looking after their health. I've spoken to so many people who are tremendously successful in their own right, and the big challenge for them is, my health is absolutely shit. Like, would I go back in time and be healthier in exchange for the success I had? And the shocking thing is, for a lot of them, they say, yes, I would trade being healthier at a younger age for now having a bit of success and being unhealthy, because you hit the 30-year-old mark, and if you're not in good shape, you will immediately be suboptimal in the way that you approach everything. And for a lot of people, this is the decade where you're getting married, you're having children. For some people, this is where their careers are starting to take off, and you want to be the highest energy person you can. And for me personally, I would say that resonates to be very true. The one great thing I did at 29 years old was to take this kind of entrepreneurial sabbatical where my health hasn't been a linear journey, but it's allowed me more time to focus on my health. And when I got back to Australia last month, a month and a half ago, I looked at the goals I wanted to achieve at the start of 2024. And one of my goals was get in the bloody best shape that you've ever been in your entire life. And I said, for the rest of this year, if there's only one thing that I can achieve that I have left to achieve on my list of things that I started the year off with, this is the one I care about. And I've been absolutely pushing my body now that I've got access to healthcare. I've been going to the doctor. For me, I have a family history of having very high cholesterol, high probability of heart disease. So both my father and my grandfather have had myocardial infarction. So they've had heart attacks. And for me, I know this is a huge risk factor, and I want to be a present partner. I want to be a present parent. So I know this isn't just about me. This is for the people who come after me. So it is out of selfishness. Obviously, I want to be the healthiest that I can be, but I know that there are other people who are going to depend on me, and I want to be present in their lives. And so it's important for me to look after these things now. So being back in Australia, I've been able to take all my blood panels again. I've even gone and gotten a calcium score. For those of you who don't know what a calcium score is, it basically works out how much hard plaque you have in your coronary arteries. So that came back good. And so I've really been assessing my risk factor and making sure that I'm on the right track. And the idiotic thing is, at 30 years old, I've never felt healthier than I am now, but I still know it's an uphill battle. And there are so many times over the past decade where I've said, and I've academically been aware that at 30, this is where male testosterone starts to go down, based on studies of broader populations. And so I know that everything I'm doing now is probably at the worst time. At the same time, there is no better time to improve your health than today. It's like that saying, right? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And when it comes to your health, that's absolutely the right attitude to have. Yes, things could have been better, but you can change things around, turn things around today. And earlier this year, I started a no sugar challenge when I was back in Sydney for a couple of weeks in the middle of all my traveling. And I reached out to 5 or 6 guys and I said, hey, do you want to come join this no sugar challenge? I think out of that number, maybe only 4 said yes, and out of the 4, only 3 actually turned up. But for those 3 of us who cut sugar out for a month and we did weekly runs and we were sharing information, I think everybody came out of that month stronger and feeling better and just realizing how much better their body feels. And we did for all of us, I'm sure that we've reintroduced sugar since. But even for me, just going to a supermarket now, I'm so much more aware of these things that are going to negatively affect my health. And now that I've come to the end of the year and I'm going absolutely hard out on my own health goals, I've got access to the health system in Australia again, which means I am best friends with my new GP, who is absolutely incredible. He's a young guy I went to uni with, and he's running all my blood panels, and we're being very proactive about my health, is that I know that it is only going to be uphill, and I say this with asterisks, it's only going to be uphill from here. And of course, your health won't go uphill forever. I will eventually get sick, I will get injured. These are realities of life. But no matter what happens, I know that I need to keep a baseline of physical activity, I need to eat a certain way, I need to take certain supplements based on the risk factors that I have. And so it's very stupid that it's taken me until 30 years old to take my health as seriously as I am now, but I can already feel the impact in terms of how much energy I have. And then there are secondary impacts as well. Now you're looking better, and for somebody who is out there looking for the one, so to speak, this is a very helpful thing to have. For somebody who wants to have children in the future, you want to have energy for those children. So there are so many positive benefits which flow from looking after your health, even in terms of the business world and the way when you meet people, the healthier you are, the more people take what you have to say seriously, even if it's on a topic completely unrelated to health. It's this really weird thing, and I think there's probably very good reasons behind that. It shows a level of discipline, it shows a level of self-control. Of course, there are people who are going to be unhealthy for things that are outside of their self-control, but remember, as humans, we make a lot of snap judgments. A lot of what we do is assume and take these mental shortcuts to help us navigate how the world works. And as you become healthier, you will notice that not only will you feel better, the world will interact with you in a much better way than you may have previously experienced. And as somebody who hasn't been as healthy as I have been now at 30 years old, I've been very overweight before, in my 20s, in my teens. I can now see the difference of how the world is interacting with me now that I am looking after my health. And so I personally am super excited about taking care of me, about becoming a better person. I've almost become, in the last couple of months, this weird, and I'm going to use the word athlete very loosely. I'm very loosely using it because I'm not an athlete. But compared to who I used to be, I've basically become an athlete. I'm running 20 kilometers a week. I'm swimming 2 kilometers a week. I'm doing 60 push-ups every day. I'm doing 3 calisthenic workouts on top of that, and still creating energy to do the other things that I need to do, which aren't related to exercise. And there's many things that are contributing to this. There's health systems that I've set up, which I'm not going to get into in this episode, but it is super important. I think the biggest piece of advice that I can give to anyone, no matter how old you are, is take your health seriously. The best time to start looking after yourself is today. And I think if we look at where the world is going, overall, I'm very optimistic about the world is going to go. But I do know that there are going to be challenging things. I'm not just talking about on an individual level, but on a societal level. I think we have governments who are very corrupt. And a lot of our governments rely on us being sick. They rely on us being unhealthy so they can pass whatever laws they want, whilst we are too lethargic to do anything about it. So I think from a societal level, we owe it to have a healthy society to be healthy ourselves. I have made it a mission, and I've stolen this from RFK Jr., the Make America Healthy Again slogan. I've now transformed that to Make Australia Healthy Again, because that's what I'm trying to do, starting with myself. And I'm going to lead by example when it comes to becoming healthy, and I hope that inspires other people. In fact, I've made Make Australia Healthy Again, or RFK Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again, my bloody slogan on every Strava exercise I do. So for those of you who don't know what Strava is, it is a social network where the only way you post is by going for a walk, going for a run, going for a swim, whatever exercise you can think about. You've got to go do something physical to be able to post and interact with your network. It is like the healthy version of Instagram. I absolutely adore it, but every post I do on Strava now has the hashtag MAHA, Make Australia Healthy Again. And I want to be the person who can show people that, hey, you can make this transformation. And I'm really proud of the people who are in my network who've come to this realization, who've had the same regret about their health and how they haven't looked after their health in the previous decade, that they are taking it seriously. So I'm going to end this episode here. To those of you listening to this, I wish you great success on all your endeavors. You've just made it through another episode of Monologues by Hassie. It brings me great pleasure to know that you made it to the end. To listen to more episodes, subscribe on your favorite podcast app or visit monologuesbyhassie.com. Thanks for swinging by.